This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Black Friday Game Day on Prime is an epic day of live sports. It all starts at 9 a.m. Eastern with the Capital One Skins game. Then, Black Friday football returns when the Bears take on the Eagles at 3 p.m. And it culminates with the final night of Emirates NBA Cup group play with Bucks Knicks at 7 p.m. and Mavs Lakers at 10 p.m. Black Friday Game Day, only on Prime.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Saucepads and Sidestep podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only Mr. HG Rugby, and a brand new presenter who's got his name up as John White. That might change over time, but welcome to the pod. How are you guys?
Good, mate. Glad to be here. Back again after how many weeks off? Feels like forever. I haven't spoken to you.
I know. It's been a nice break, hasn't it? It has been way too long. John, glad to have you here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Matt. We're really happy to be along. And it's been, honestly, just a long time without getting to watch the Scarlets in an actual competitive game. So I'm looking forward to the weekend more than anything else.
Oh, happy days. Now, we've just wound you up a little bit pre-recording. So introduce yourself and what's your connection to the Scarlets?
Yeah, so my name is John. I'm originally from Keedwelly, about 10 miles out from Slathley. And my mum always wanted to be a massive Scarlets fan, always wanted me to be a big fan, used to sing me Sospan Vark when I was a kid. Had no interest in it, to be honest with you. No interest at all. Just my rebellion away from rugby.
Terrible.
And then, yeah, I know. And then I moved to Ireland. And I met a fantastic group of Welsh people who were living over in Dublin. Moved over in 2011, so it was the middle of the World Cup then. And just ended up going to the pub every day to watch as many matches as we could. Got very little academics done in those first few months, I can promise. And then a big group of them were all from Slathley. And that's really how I actually became a Scarlets fan, hanging out with them in another country for several months on end.
So basically, you defied your father, trying to go against your blood ties, and then it just all came back in the end.
Not even my father. My father likes Bath, and Bath are grand. But it's my mum that was the one that really wanted me to be a Scarlets fan.
It's so often the case with the Scarlets, because I chose to be a Scarlets fan. Mark, you chose to be a Scarlets fan, and obviously John, you chose to be a Scarlets fan. So it's obviously, a very likable team, as we would say that, being, welcome back to the One-Eyed Turks podcast. But it's not just like, oh, you're from Llanelli or you're from West Wales, which obviously is a big reason why a lot of people do support the Scarlets. I'm not saying it's not, but a lot of people choose to support the Scarlets as well.
Very true. It's one of the big things about Welsh rugby, especially in the regional era. You go to different places and people generally don't always support the team that, they're actually within the region of. Like, I know loads of boys in the Rhondda area that will have never, ever in their life will they ever go to a Cardiff game or support Cardiff. And, there's patches of grounds like that all over Wales for each of the regions.
Yeah, it's a weird side effect of like regionalization, isn't it? That people kind of when your original team wasn't elevated, and that, you kind of, it's almost not you don't want to support the next club over, so you have to choose the next region more than anything else. But for me, I think it's like I was hanging out with a lot of people from St. Ackley at that time, but also we just have a good product. Like it's when you've got like some more free flowing, offloading, fantastic rugby to actually watch it. It helps, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably does. I mean, Martin Madden is one of the men I fell in love with, so he's probably not in that category just as much. But there we go.
The when producer Lee, obviously, so John, to become a presenter on the podcast, sent an email to Rap to say, I'd like to be on your podcast, please. And producer Lee forwarded me on the email, and John spoke at length about 2017 in his email. And always a good way to get on the right side of this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky because I was actually living in Dublin at the time, so I got to go to both the semi-final and the final. I think there were like less than 50 supporters in the RDS for the semi-final because it was obviously all Leinster fans. But God, we were loud, like. But because I bought tickets with Leinster fans because I was living there, so I was by myself. And then down the other end of the ground, I could see like the traveling support. And I did not get a lot of friendly looks in my end of the stadium on that day. Yeah, but that was the semi-final was almost better than the final. It was a real game.
I'm going to Bordeaux for the game in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm going with my friend Maz, who's a UBB fan, and we'll be sitting with the UBB, but I'll be there in my Scarlets jersey going, yeah, when Tommy Rog scores a hat-trick.
Again. His second hat-trick.
Yeah.
No, it'll be 4 tries against UBB. He's going to step it up a level each now. He scored a hat against the All Blacks. That's nothing. Wait to see what he does next.
All Blacks are rubbish now. It doesn't even mean anything.
Well, he's literally the only Northern Hemisphere player for a country, at least, to ever score a hat trick against them. So that makes him the greatest Northern Hemisphere winger of all time. Is that correct?
No disagreement here.
That's how my math has it.
Yeah,
100%. At least we're in agreement.
Potentially second to Tommy Lewis. But like that'll take some time to find out.
That's just the Tommy Club, though. You know what I mean? Well, you brought us onto the game, but I don't know if we're quite ready for that just yet. So we don't normally talk a great deal about Wales, but we all in agreement. That hat trick was something special. I mean, I've seen a lot of people go in. Oh, they were walk-ins. Takes a lot to finish a try, even a walk-in. You'd be absolutely surprised, especially his third one, just cutting back across the man in the way that he did it. It was just so nonchalant. He's like, yeah, I'll just go this way and dot it down, have a little celebration.
What about the first one where he has to pick a failed Hollywood offload off his toes before he can go over in the corner?
You know what? Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm convinced that's not an offload. I'm convinced that someone's head or hand has hit that ball out of Dan Edwards' hands first. No, there's no way he planned that.
It's a wild offload. This little like chicken wing down to the ankles. But yeah, I don't even know why Dan Edwards was kind of in that position in the attack in the first place. Like in a sort of a fullback role. It was a bit odd, but interesting anyway. But maybe he's got some time to work on his offloads before then. But also, you say, he just steps someone and go in. That person he steps is Damien McKenzie. Also, is worth pointing out. Like, it's not just like some journeyman fullback who's come in.
It just adds it to the list. Was it Curtly Aaron, sir? Damien McKenzie. Who was the other one?
Oh, there was another.
The Bok, you mean?
Was it
the Springbok?
Was it Kanan Moody?
Moody, it might have been, yeah.
I mean, he has skinned him. Is he the one you think? Yeah. So
I'm trying to remember.
Would he beat like two
He's
of them
done
for that one
many.
try, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
The highlights reel is too long. It's becoming a feature-length film.
It is, and that's a sad thing. And the problem is his highlights reel, normally they're not really reflective of the player, but his actually is. The way he beats men for fun is
I've
unreal.
never known a player. Maybe this is just... Welcome back to the One Eye Turks podcast. You joined us for the pity section. I've never known a player score a hat-trick against New Zealand and get talked about less. It's like it never happened.
Yeah.
Trying to think where I saw it covered. I think I heard it briefly covered. They talked about it briefly on another podcast, but it was a Welsh-centric podcast. But then they moved off on it after like 15 seconds. It was not deemed worthy of. They didn't talk about it for as long as they talked about a certain someone's yellow card. We can definitely confirm that.
It is really weird. I mean, like I just said, he's the first Welshman, the first Northern Hemisphere player to do it. Only the fourth person in history, as far as we're aware, at least in country games. It is one hell of achievement in well over 125 years of history. To be just the fourth man to do it, that is incredible. And obviously, obviously I don't know the scores of the other games of the other three scored them in, but maybe they weren't in such a emphatic loss, which is maybe one of the reasons people don't want to focus so much on
all
the
of our games
positives.
against the All Blacks are emphatic losses. But since why are we ruling out because of that?
Hang on, we've beaten them 3 times.
Actually, something that I didn't know
Double
was the
checking that.
1953 defeat of the All Blacks by Wales was actually a back-to-back result because they played them before in the game before in like the 30s and beat them then as well.
Wow.
I haven't gone back to watch I'm guessing it's in like British Pate archive reels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it how are the matches actually to go back and watch? Do they just have highlights or do they have the whole thing?
I think you can watch this is off topic, but you can watch, I think the full, you can watch the full, one of the tests between the British and Irish Lions and New Zealand from 1970 something is on YouTube. And I tell you what, I have no idea how this sport ever caught on because it is unwatchable.
My favorite thing watching games back from like the late 60s, early 70s is this completely unwatchable mess of a game where people just like sprint up the back of rucks and launch themselves jumping off.
I had cause to do a bit of research on Barry John once, and I found this clip on YouTube of people saying, "Oh, this try that he scored for the Lions," and he steps like 2 men and goes over, and it's like he's the greatest player who has ever lived. I was like, Tommy Rog scored a harder try than that against the Bulls last year. But, context, I suppose.
Mm. Ankles were discovered in the mid 80s. And so from that point on, there was a little bit of a little bit harder to make the highlight reels.
Yeah.
But
Mark,
in like 50 years.
Yeah. Mark, what is Tommy Rogers' pathway to the Scarlets? I can't remember which club did he come through?
Kev Nathan, he's come through. Then I believe Mynydd Mawrth for his Dewar Shield. Straight into Scarlets Academy then.
Would he play for Llanelli?
It would have made sense if he's Kev Nathan, so yeah, that would have meant Llanelli, but the way they split them, I'm not entirely sure. I can try and do a quick find out, but he must have played for Llanelli at some point. It would be weird if he didn't,
Yeah. Incidental music.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know he represented Wales in the Sevens campaign.
Yeah, years ago, that is.
1919.
Yeah, years ago, straight out to 20s, I was. He was
18, 19.
Yeah, because he was always more of a sevens player when he came through at the beginning. We're going back a long time now, obviously, like you said, 2019. But there was when he first started getting games, they were quite sporadic. So it was a case of will he, won't he? But obviously, he definitely will.
I remember one of the first podcasts I appeared on this channel. I said that I thought that Tommy Rogers was letting his career pass him by, and now he scored a hat-trick against the All Blacks. So, just goes to show things can change.
Yes, and he did play for Llanelli, as far as my searching has gone. But yeah, apparently he played for Tumble for youth rugby. So, that's a nasty one moving from Kev Nathan for Tumble.
Mm.
Can't imagine that have gone down great. But there we go.
Well, they can both claim him now. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, do they both get those Howden's plaques? Oh no, that's the Lions in there. There's got to be something better for someone who scores
when he's got his Lions caps, they can fight over them.
Well, let's be honest. Looking at the way he played last season on this, is an argument he probably should already have him. What are you talking about? He probably he had to have been in the shortlist for a position, but that's long behind us. So we had a few more boys involved in Welsh 23. I think they're all in the 15, weren't they? Plumtree, Hawkins, Murray. Yeah.
Yep.
Every single one of them. Happy days. Hawkins, beautiful pass to Llewellyn.
It was a great pass. It was a great pass. I didn't really realise it at the time, but watching it on second viewing, I was like, oof, that's a good pass.
It is. Just how he just cuts out absolutely everyone in the backline defence. And to be fair, there was still a bit of work left to do. Llewellyn had to beat that, even though he's on the outside shoulder, he did still have to beat his man and give, that final ball to Tommy. But
when that try went over, I was kind of like, because obviously watching Wales is an incredibly miserable experience, so I was kind of being grumpy the whole game anyway. But I was on the sofa watching it, and I had the cat on my lap. And when I realised it was a 2-on-1 and Tommy was in for his hat trick, being the second, I was like, go on, yeah! And the cat freaks out and jumps off and runs out of the room. I was like, oh, sorry.
I mean, quite frankly, the cat should have been in the air with you jumping in celebration. But
isn't that a saucepan fact link there about cats and Tommy and things?
Yeah. No, Johnny.
You can.
Oh, Johnny. That. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, close enough. Close enough. We can change the words. It's only a name. It's no longer Johnny Bach.
Speaking of which, the artist formerly known as Pringle has been in the ground lately.
He has
the Welsh ground, and he said he wasn't happy about the WRU piping Saucepan Fact through the tannoy.
No,
that's not your song.
No, it's not. But it's the same with almost every song except for Hen Vlad Fynadau. None of them really are Wales songs. I mean, there's a few Max Boyce ones that you could use. Obviously, the greatest is from Tom Jones, but it's banned now, which really ruins things. To be honest, I know it has some negative connotations, but singing Delilah, it's just what you do. You can't not sing Delilah in the Millennium. It's just wrong. But yeah, there was.
Thank goodness it's the Principality now. Then.
Yeah. Well, not for too much longer. I think that's it for their tenure now, isn't it?
Yeah, surely.
10 years.
It's got to be.
Yeah, they're not going to renew.
And if they do, well, they need to pay at least.
Yeah, they need to pay a bit of money for it next time.
10 times as much, if not more.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing our missing man Pringle spotted was the WRU advertising Scarlets against the Ospreys. And I mean, he should have, if he could have picked the photo a bit better, he could have had none of the signage for the date of the game and just had, this is Scarlets, the Ospreys. In Welsh rugby, this is what we're down to. But
yeah.
I mean, as much as you want the union advertising the game, it does take the piss a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah, no. Yeah. We've all, as fan bases and clubs, we've been pitted against each other completely. But yeah, advertise the game. Why not? It's a little on the nose now.
Mm. Speaking of fans going against each other, shall we don our coats of armor and our hard hats as we go in to defend the undefendable?
The undefendable, Taine is amazing. How he hasn't had that 8 shirt since he was born. Maybe during the Faltow years I can understand it, but
I'm not sure 8 is his best position.
It's not his best position. I think he is a better 6, but they've pigeonholed him into 8, a little bit like they've pigeonholed Blaine Murray into 15. So he's got to deal with it effectively. But what he offers far outweighs the negatives. I mean, yes, he's prone to a few silly decisions, but he's... How old is he now? What is he, 25? He's been
25, 26, yeah.
Yeah, he's only been in professional rugby, what was it, 2 years? since he's been with us. So, you've still got to treat him like he's, that type of player. Yeah, he's 25. He'll be 26 in March. So, in terms of a rugby career, he's still really young. Where the likes of, let's say, Alex Mann was more or less in it from the time he was 20. He's he's already had those bad years where you're first coming in, you've got all those bad traits. He's had a few years to have them drilled out at a younger age. It's now later on in Taine's career, and the later you try to drill something out of a player, the harder it is. So that's not a full defense or excusing some of his actions, because some of them are like, you do just end up just blinking and trying to do a double take and thinking, did I actually just see that? But
the dropping the 2 restarts is the one which is hard to defend. It's like, but you got to catch those. Like, there's no ifs, no buts, no coconuts. You got to catch them.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to make a mistake, and like we said, 8 is not his strongest position. So, taking restarts. I mean, when was it? It was like the middle back, like towards this sort of time last season is when he started transitioning into 8. So even then, he hasn't had a great deal of time of taking takeoffs. Again, you're teaching someone further in their career a skill and something to do with.
I love Taine. He's catching a ball, mate.
But it's not. It's catching it with a whole defensive line coming at you in unison. It's not like catching a bloody box kick up the field where you might only have 1 or 2 men. The traffic is coming. Everyone's around you. You've got your own men basically blocking you in front of you. It's a lot different than just catching a high ball.
It is true, but there is a small part in his technique when he goes to get the ball where he does like to do these little one-leg hop jumps up to get them occasionally, and that's one of the ones that he dropped in the All Blacks game there, which is like, I'm not like, as someone who's terrible at playing rugby, like I have previously been guilty of taking like a jumping position because I feel like it protects me a little bit more from a defensive line running up, because it gives me a second more on the catch. But like I think that's part of the problem when it comes to for the jumping, for taking the restart in particular.
You know what? I'm really struggling now, because it seems that every person we pull on this pod, since we removed Lee, he's gone into the backstages. No one has ever basically touched a rugby ball. I mean, who was never played? Obviously, you said you didn't play as a kid. You were into it quite late.
Oh no, I played as a kid. I just hated it.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. Obviously, kid early minis and juniors, or were you forced to go to Buddy Port at the time?
Oh God, I wouldn't go to Mordor. Why would that?
Hey, be nice.
No, I just played schools. No.
Oh.
But then in college a bit as well. And like, yeah, I was never...
No club connection, terrible.
No club connection at all. Well, I mean, like my university club, but like it's yeah, I'm anyway, no good, basically, is the end of it. But even like, I don't think many people are going after him for the restarts. I think most people were going for the yellow. And they're all saying that it's to do with his discipline. There are times you can't say that he doesn't have discipline issues. At times, I personally don't think this was one of those moments. I think he put in a massive shift the whole day. I don't know what his tackle stats were, but he probably came out on top. Top tackler?
Something like that, 21?
21 out of 25. Okay, so he's actually joint with Alex Mann.
But he's played 10 minutes fewer than Mann, yeah.
So I think it was the Six Nations time, and I think
he's top tackles per minute.
Yeah. So I think he's doing the Six Nations when he was called up this year. I believe the tweet is still pinned to my profile on X. I did a little dive into Taine's, penalty rate and compared him with the other boys in the squad at the time. And yes, he did give away a few more, and part of that reason was he gave away 4 penalties in the New Year's Day game against the Dragons. I think he gave away 4 penalties in that game, and it was but 3 of those penalties came after the result was gone. And then you do have to take every penalty individually. And the silly ones you can't defend, and he does give away the odd silly one here and there, probably one every 3 matches or so. A silly pen now, not just a pen in general. But when you've got him fighting hard at the ruck, contesting for a ball, you're okay to give your flanker, you got a 1 pen warning if you're going into, try and jackal a ball away. And in all fairness, that is what Taine does. He does quite a fair bit of it. I'm not sure how much he's been doing for Wales, so he hasn't exactly had a great amount of minutes, but he does it for us quite regularly. So I expect him to give away a penalty a game, and I'm okay with that if it does mean he gets those turnovers, which is something that he does do for us. Not so much with Wales, but you need to take every single one individually. Was it 100% unavoidable? Was it the right decision?
The one where it was New Zealand try got chalked off for a knock on, but then it was deemed that Taine hadn't rolled away. I thought that was harsh. I thought because that's one of his penalties that he's given away, and he's just completed a tackle, the ball's hit against his leg, and now he's been done for not rolling away.
Yeah, but if they've scored a try from it, then surely he was out of the way. Surely they had access to the ball. I know they talk about going, north and south, getting away from the nine, etc.
Yeah, and there was no attempt at the jackal, so it's not like he's had a material effect anyway. So the thing about Taine is, and by the way, just on the stats quickly, the stats on Rugby Pass say that Alex Mann only gave away 1 penalty, and that's definitely wrong, because I definitely heard Holly say 6, not blah blah blah, or 6 this, multiple times in the game. Now, it's not about getting on Alex Mann. It's an example of why I think the penalty stats are a little bit might not be correct. But the thing about Taine is he's a player who, in every moment of the game, at all times, is trying to do something to make something happen. And that's why I will always defend Taine. Because let's be honest, there's players on that pitch who do nothing. And sometimes I feel like some fans would prefer a player who did nothing and therefore did nothing wrong than a player who did 2 things right and 1 thing wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. I honestly feel that without Taine, we don't beat Japan a week ago. He came on in whatever minute it was. He invigorated our attack with a couple of carries. And
Taine, people don't talk about it again. It's a bit like Tommy this week. People don't talk about it that in the second Japan game in the summer, Wales were up shit creek until Taine came on. He kicked a 50-22.
Yeah, well, he's not normally coming on for his kicking prowess, but like when every single pod is more effective if he's in it. When you've got him as a carrying option, or even better as a clean out option, I think he speeds up your ruck speed so much just having him on the pitch. I think that's what he's particularly good at. That's why I think he got the yellow, to be honest, over the weekend. He was absolutely blowing by that point of the game. He's just absolutely wrecked. Like, I think it's not a discipline issue with him, that card in particular, so much as it is just him being
working too hard.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if, because I was watching even after that tackle, because the play goes on for like another, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. He makes like 3 out of the 4 tackles that happen in that immediate passage of play. And he's jogging, walking between them because he is just that wrecked. So potentially part of it is having to think about how active he actually is in like managing his activity levels during the game.
Yeah, so I've just checked. Taine has come off the bench against Japan last week on 48 minutes. He's made 5 carries and 10 tackles.
In 32 minutes.
In 32 minutes.
Crazy.
That's huge. I mean, some players don't go through that in a game. I mean, that is...
Adam Beard.
No.
No, he does tackle.
You can't say it. They'll come for you. Trust me. Ask me how I know. If you say that name, people will come for you.
Honest to God, you do have to give it to him. If you need a second tackler, Adam Beard is always there. He's always there. And if you need someone to, tell you how to throw a line out, he can do that.
He's also very good in a blitz, running like the first 2 meters and then just like pretending that whoever's got the ball is a deer at night And he's just like, no,
You know,
no.
I've always wondered, if they might think about someone, his size as a possible carrying option. I mean, obviously he's a lock, so obviously locks don't generally carry that much. So obviously it's never really been thought about before. But if you're like 6'8" and 120 odd kilos, I think they should probably think about trying him to carry the ball a bit.
No, too tall. He can't. Just,
Mark, you're being completely unreasonable, okay? He's already got a job in the team, which is to sometimes catch the lineouts. To expect him to do anything beyond that is completely unreasonable.
and he does it adequately. So you leave that nice young man alone.
Young man, he's getting old now, isn't he?
Don't say that. That makes me feel terrible.
I'm older than you, so shut up.
So yeah, Taine finished 4th in the Japan game for tackles per minute.
In the Japan game, sorry.
In the Japan game.
Yeah. After playing 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, his work rate is one of the reasons why he's in the team. Like, there's no doubt about that.
He's got skills that other Welsh players just don't. They just don't.
His passing ability is great. His eye for a gap and an offload is above vast majority.
And an intercept as well.
Yeah, he's not about pace. He's pacey. He is really fast. He's probably one of the fastest.
Skills underrated as well.
Well, yeah, like you said, he had done a 50-22 in an international match. I mean, how many back rows can say that? How many Welsh back rows can say that? I know it's a new thing, but still.
I'm not sure if he actually did kick a 50-22. I think it was nearly a 50-22.
Oh, yeah, the one that rolled sort of along the line.
Yeah. Because, I remember what it was now. Michael Leach nearly kicked a 50-22. Taine Plumtree, for God knows why, is in the backfield covering. He catches it and then clears it up to halfway. That's what happened.
Oh, brilliant exit work. Brilliant exit work. That's where he should be. He should be either at the base of the ruck or standing, in the pocket, ready to clear the exit, not catch it and try and go forward. They're doing the wrong job.
So the answer to the Scarlets' exit problems is put Taine Plumtree in the pocket and ask him to boot it down the field.
Well, I mean, I would say yes, but obviously we've got Eddie James back now, so we probably use him. But we're always looking for an extra 9. We could try him at 9. He might be able to box kick. Who knows?
He might be able to. We won't know until we try.
He's going to be our tight head by the end of this call.
I would absolutely love it if, come the Bristol game now, they're all warming up and he's just there on the field with a ball on his own, and he just thought, you know what, I'm going to try a box kick by her and just see how it goes.
So, despite all the criticism, does he start for you next week?
He always starts. I mean,
I've said
he's in the 23, definitely in the 23. I don't know, because like we said, his ability coming off the bench to just invigorate and revitalize and actually make us go forward, that does probably lend him more to a bench spot. But then you're thinking about, you put in Deves and Morgan Morse in the same back row for 60 minutes against
my first choice Wales back row would be Jack Morgan, Aaron Wainwright, and Taine Plumtree.
Okay, that's 2 of them are unavailable next week. Try again.
Okay, right. So it's got to be Taine Plumtree then. Look, I thought that Harry Deves was perfectly adequate, apart from when Wallace Sititi bounced him off like he was spring-loaded. But then I checked social media and found that he was actually the greatest player of all time. So probably Harry Deves.
Well, actually, he's the first man from Pontyclun to lose against New Zealand for Wales. So that's kind of a hit.
Yeah, all of the boys lost them, and all of them have since 1953.
And they all came through the Pontyclun age grade system.
Pontyclun, before Harry Deves, they had 3 Welsh internationals, and all 3 of them had beaten New Zealand over 3 matches.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. That is a good pub quiz question.
That's actually a much better stat than I originally thought it was, Matt. So I apologize.
Thank you. Never trust anything I have to say there, boy. Unless it comes to scrums, and he does tend to pick his ears up.
I genuinely can't think of any other Welsh back rows. It's just going to have to be Taine Plumtree twice.
Mann is fit, right?
Is he?
I suppose so.
Okay, then Alex Mann then.
So
James Ratty's in there.
I've seen that movie before, thanks.
It's probably Mann. It's probably Mann, Deves, and Plumtree.
Yeah,
with Morse on the bench.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I mean, The problem is, ideally, you'd want to be going 6-2 against the South Africans. But
it's not going to make any difference.
no, I know, but I'm just thinking, we've gone. This is something I've when I talk to people, I'm just baffled at how this Autumn Nation series has been planned, because next week we're going to have something like at least 9 players that have had 0 international minutes these last 3 weeks. It is just baffling that you can prepare for the world champions in that way when 2 of them are going to be props. At least 3 of them will be locks. If they choose a 4th one on another one on the bench, that could be 4. It's just laughable how heavily focused these teams have been on the foreign-based players.
It's a massive bugbear of mine. And by the way, the media have advocated for it as well. The media have been pushing foreign-based players to be picked for Wales. And I could
100% understand it for Argentina and Japan. Stick with more or less the same side that there was there in the summer that actually beat Japan and just get over the line. Just do it. But this game and next week should have been focused together as a 2-game block. Whoever plays in this, the 23 for this game should be more or less the 23 for that game.
I agree. But so taking that, so last word on Taine Plumtree is that Hattie, our friend who's on the main rap podcast, messaged me saying, how do I defend Taine against all these other regional fans? And I said, you're going to go down, but the best you can hope for is you take some others with you. So
and that is the Taine Plumtree approach that we know and love.
So moving on back then. So you talk about changes from that last game. Joe Hawkins got to go at 12. Now, Joe Hawkins, for some reason, and to be fair, Mark, this is a narrative that I've bought into before and you've corrected me. Joe Hawkins has developed a reputation of being a crash ball, big centre. And I'm here to tell people that he's actually the Scarlets' 3rd biggest 12. So that being said, what did we think of how he played?
I'm going to be really honest. I didn't watch the game live. I was rather busy, as you already know. So I honestly fast forwarded a few bits of the game when I got a chance to watch it. I haven't even got a chance to watch Quinn and Scarlets properly yet. I've watched the first 10 minutes, up to Tommy's try about 15 times. I just keep falling asleep. But I don't think he didn't shine, but I think he did more than Ben Thomas then. I think I'm comfortable in that. And that pass alone to Llewellyn, that takes
his
skill.
Pass was beautiful. I thought he made some poor decisions to kick at a couple of moments where I was like, now we don't have the ball anymore.
I'm just looking. He's only had 1 start for us. So is that really the type of player you want starting an international? Someone who's not a regular international, because obviously he's been out with Exeter for so long. And he's come off the bench in 3 or 4 games. 2 games. He started 1 at 12 and 1 at 10. So he doesn't have that match fitness, that match awareness then, especially at 12, because he's been coming on at 10 in a game or 2.
He definitely didn't seem match ready. I don't think he'd had enough run throughs. I don't think his legs were ready for it. So I think you're talking about that weird kick that he took. So they were clearly trying to, because they were doing this the whole game. They were clearly trying to move and catch the pendulum in motion, kicking behind Happy Days. I think when they took the kick, whoever it was on that wing, I guess Will Jordan, hadn't moved out of position. And so it just went straight to him. So I think he was more moving through the system when he made that kick rather than actually look. That's what I thought looking at it.
Who's this person on our podcast who knows words like pendulum?
But that's just because I like swinging side to side. It's just a coincidence. But do you know why we would be talking about him a lot if that intercept had stood. So he made a great read. But I think New Zealand had they had penalty advantage at the time, or maybe it was knock-on advantage.
It was
sorry,
it was something.
It was something. And he made a fantastic read, ran through, intercept. He would have been under the post, about 60 meters out. But obviously it was called back for advantage.
He's clearly a player who's got talent and ability, and is just a good general rugby player. And to be fair, I do from the limited what I've seen him for Scarlets and for Wales now, I'm like, okay, I can see what the thinking is with this guy. He's just obviously, I think going to Exeter, he'll look back on as a mistake.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a lot of revisionism for his time playing for the other region, because they never picked him. They never picked him. Go back and check his appearances. They never picked him. So, yeah. But I do think that there's a player there. I think, like you said, John, he's not come into it in form. To be fair, not many have. But I think what's interesting is just a wider point about the Welsh kind of attack is just how important that 12 jersey is to Jockey's system. I mean, if you look at like the number of passes they're making, Dan Ed's to whoever's at 12, it's like 4 to 5 is the ratio. It's not like 2 to 1. It's like Dan Ed is making 20, the other guy's making 16.
Okay. I do have some stats for you now. So over 4 years at the Ospreys, he appeared 28 times and started 9. So over 4 years, so that's out of a total of what, at least 88 games. He played maybe 1 in 3 and only had less than 3 starts a season.
Well, he left because they tried to keep him on an academy contract when he was a Welsh international.
I know, it's funny. That's going to be something that we are dealing with now with Ellis Mee going forward. Because obviously he's coming out of an academy contract, which rightly so. He came from Nottingham. He was nowhere near the international scene. Now he's back in the Welsh setup again. Why? I hate it. I don't like how players being with them. But yeah, obviously jumping from a between 20 and 40k contract to, 100 plus grand more it's obviously it's a hard take for anyone. So I don't agree with it. Obviously, they should have. I mean, speaking for the Ospreys, they should never have offered him another academy contract. That was just a spit in the face. They should have offered him a first professional contract, even if it was sort of middling. I don't know how much money he's on Bexit. I don't know the offer he got. But when we know that academy contracts go up to 40k, you would have thought they would have offered him at least something like 70.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they couldn't have found 30k from somewhere. But
I'm thinking out loud now. Who's his agent? Because okay, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, and all of that. It was all over Wales Online that he was going to be like the next big savior of Welsh rugby and everything.
Yeah.
While his contract negotiations were ongoing. Like, if I was a good agent, I might potentially be leaning on some people just kind of saying like, oh, come on, let's, I mean, I do think his ceiling is really high. I think he's going to be fantastic when he's getting more regular game time in there. But yeah, that contract negotiation period was
I mean, don't like all players in Wales have there's 2 agents for the whole of Wales?
I mean, there's more. Obviously, you've got Delmere, who is probably the main one. But
Nicky Robinson's got a few.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be a good fill. I mean, going back to that, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought his decision not to re-sign was during the Six Nations, not after the fact. I mean, I could be wrong. We are talking, 3 years ago now. But
I can't remember, Mark. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember.
This is a Scarlets pod, and we've done more talking about elsewhere. To be honest, we are talking about Scarlets players, but still.
Blair Murray. I'm not going to advocate for him to be shot, unlike someone else. But let's just call a spade a spade. He's struggling under the high ball. It's a clear weakness, and at the moment, it's a weakness that probably should preclude him from being selected at 15 by Wales. However, I would also say that, in the Japan game, the whole team was terrible under the high ball. Like, Josh Adams couldn't catch a cold until he decided to shoulder someone in the head, like it was UFC or something. And he's still like the most dangerous ball in hand player in the team. And I think he. Hang on a minute. Let me just check. Check this by you.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice to Blair by you. Yes, he hasn't had his greatest of seasons to date. Obviously, it's only his second season, so a bit of second season syndrome, possibly. Who really knows? I've got no issue with him wearing the number 15 on his back, but when you see it's a weakness and you still want him there, you need to put things in place to help him succeed. There's no reason he can't switch with Tommy Rogers in the backfield or Lewis Rees-Zammit. There's no reason you can't do that during game at any point. You could make first 10, 15 minutes. Tommy Rog, you were going to be defending at 15, but you're waiting, right wing, left, or whatever's on your bloody back, whatever it is. And then after that period, okay, we'll switch back, we'll see if their game plan evolves, and then we'll take it from there. There's no reason you can't do that with the communication you've got with players on the field. There's no reason you can't put things in place to help him succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and I think that's probably what they should be doing, realistically. But I also think a lot of people, for the last 3 weeks have been, 2 weeks have been calling for him to not be selected in the 15. I think he's quite important to the attack, and he's key.
He made more passes than the fly half in the last game.
Yeah, because he essentially is playing as a second fly half in attack. He's in the pocket more often.
No, he's playing fly half. We don't have anyone actually playing fly half. Honestly, and I'm not saying this to diss Dan Edwards. I think he's a really good player. I think he can develop into a great player. But honestly, he has no defined position in this Wales team at the minute. He is just a guy wearing number 10 on his shirt. He pops up in so many different random places in attack and defense. There's no structure there for him, which I find bizarre, really.
It's really weird.
It's a team with 3 second playmakers and no first playmakers.
Yeah, it depends on how highly you want to rank Thomas Williams in that. Because I would say he's like the first playmaker.
Well, actually, that's a great point, actually. I did actually send a message to someone. It might have been Harley. I sent a message to you saying, Thomas is doing really well considering he's playing 9 and 10 in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this is just, I know we're not really talking about it, but who is going to actually control the game on the weekend is going to be really interesting because Thomas Williams is there.
I think it's going to be someone from South Africa that's going to control the game. I'm going to leave it at that.
And on that note,
odds are Kieran Hardy is going to start. Ponteberry boy, love him with all my heart, even though he sold his soul and went a bit further east. Wrong side of Lacha, my friend. Wrong side. You can't come back now.
And who even is this?
Ruben Morgan
Williams.
Shot, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is the thing. Sheedy should have been involved in this game because he has to be involved next week.
It's all a waste of time anyway because the best fly half in Wales was busy playing in London on Friday night.
He was busy playing in London and he had a bit of fun.
And would perfectly fit this attack structure. Just
because
there.
He's a fly half. Oh, I'm getting wound up now. Because he's a fly half who can tell whoever the second and third and fourth playmaker is to shut up. I'm in charge.
But the thing is, if you do slot Sammy in there, you've then got a 10, a 12, a 15, and whatever wing Tommy's on. That's your core back line. You've got a core back line that actually knows each other and can talk to each other and actually do things. That's amazing. I wonder why no one's thought of that.
And is running like an attack that doesn't seem like a million miles away from the one they're trying to run. So
yeah. And one that isn't afraid to run the ball when...
To be fair to Jared Evans, I did think that he gave us some good shape when he came on. I thought our shape got a lot better when he came on.
I like Jared. I think he probably was never going to be a number one for Wales just because of, obviously, the coach at the time.
It was just always someone else.
And I don't know, did he have a few niggling injuries around these camps? Because... I've looked over, obviously, some of the team sheets over the last few years. Obviously, I haven't gone way far back, but it seems as though he weren't involved a great deal. So it's like, if you want someone to succeed, then you put your eggs. You don't put all your eggs in our basket. We put them in there. It seems like we give more time and care to Sheedy than we did Jara. Because I can remember back in 2017, And Seb Davis is included in this, and I was taking a piss out of my mate who's a Cardiff fan, saying, "Oh, I've heard rumours that we're signing Jared and Seb over the summer." And it just wound him up absolutely massively because they were such good prospects at the time. And I'm really gutted that Jared never got that chance. I think he would have been an absolute brilliant. I think he would have turned into a Damien McKenzie type player. I think he would have been a brilliant backup. That small
Do you remember he
stature
used to
player.
play 12 for Cardiff? That was weird.
I mean, if you can play 10, 15, chances are you've been shoved in a 12. During your childhood, especially, Welsh rugby, you play almost every position, and you should be playing every position, really, just to get used to it.
Speaking of 12s, and with an eye on the time, do you want to just
Yeah,
talk about Friday?
We scored tries. Yay, good tries. The future got his debut. Yes, Mr. Carwyn Legger-Jones.
Just to explain to anybody who might be a bit confused what we're actually talking about.
Okay, so there's a couple of players in the academy that are pretty damn good. Two of them.
No. Before that,
What
even is this game?
Oh, it was a friend. It was what to call it? It was a contestable run out before competitive games for Scarlets against Harlequins at the Stoop.
Right.
Where people went to watch in freezing conditions and all the players had steam off them. The ball melted inside the scrum, is what I've been told. The amount of heat that was coming off the boys. Yeah. Quite funny. But no, from what I've seen, and like I said, I've only seen that like first 10, 12 minutes or so repetitively. It looked like fun. It was a good run out. That first 20, 30 minutes, by all accounts, and I'm saying that because I need all accounts to help me with this, it seems like it was a very worthwhile exercise. We got through things. I have watched most of the highlights. Like once we scored our third try, I was like, yeah, I don't need to see this anymore. But it seems that first try for Harlequins, the rolling maul, someone just literally drove straight into Sam Lousy to defend the maul, and Sam was just stuck with his feet in the air, not being able to do anything. And by the time he actually got down to set, they had the momentum and went over. So that try specifically against us, I'll say, is our own fault because it was a bit of miscommunication and timing of actually hitting the maul. But you, carry on, Freddie, go
on. John, you actually watched this game, so why don't you talk about it?
I did. It was pretty well. The first 50 minutes were great, and they should have just called it at that, and I would have been happy. But yeah, the maul was a little bit of a problem in the first half. Shored it up going into the second, which was nice to see. Adjacent to that, the lineouts. So Marnus van der Merwe pulled out last second, which sent Harry Thomas into the starting lineup. Really, really solid performance by him. Darts need a little bit of work, but yeah, he's young, isn't he? So that'll come in time. His loose play was really, really solid, and they tried to run it twice. It worked once off a line out. There was a really nice was this for the first try? Can't remember now. Line out goes down. McLeod pops it up to Thomas, who on another day goes straight through the line and crashes over. And to be honest, that day could have been his day because he had, for the first half, the entire defensive line in his pocket. Like every single carry he took, he broke at least one tackle. Really, really solid. Defensively, he took his tackles well. I mean, he hasn't played now for 8 months or something? How long has he been out for?
Yeah, a long time. He was, because Johnny took his spots in the URC running.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because obviously we all know and has been proclaimed on this podcast, Eddie James will be, well, Dan Carter is the old Eddie James, as I like to say it.
I thought he was excellent. Every time that I've been to see the Scarlets in person and Eddie James has been on the field, I come away thinking, God, Eddie James is good. And even obviously it was on Quinn's YouTube channel. It was Quinn's, to be fair, Dave Rogers was on comms, and he obviously does know the Scarlets. But it was Harlequins player was on co-coms, and he was like, who's this Eddie James kid? Because he was the best player on the pitch. And I've always thought that every time I've watched him in person. I think he's absolutely class. He can do it all. He's got hands, he's got feet, and he's got shoulders, and they're all very important for a rugby player. And he's got a brain as well. And yeah, it was nice to see what we've been missing in a way. And he's got to be nailed on. And with Joe Roberts as well, that's the dream team. That's what we've got to have. It's got to be Sammy, Eddie, Joe, 10, 12, 13, as much as possible.
And oh, you just said and also I thought there was another one coming.
There's always another one.
Yeah, he is our biggest 12, as we were referring to our third biggest earlier. He is absolutely huge at 6'4" and about 7 foot wide. He is a broad man.
The tries that we scored were quite nice. As John said, the Maul defence was a worry. I think that at least their first 3, maybe even their first 4 tries were we gave away a penalty. Scarlets, discipline problems? Surely not. We gave away a penalty. They got into our 22 and they drove it over. And so that is a worry. That's a clear weakness. The tries that we scored were nice. They were maximum effort in typical Scarlets fashion. And I thought Sammy pulled the strings well. John, would you agree?
Yeah, I thought he looked really, really good in attack. Especially for, God, now I'm really trying to remember each individual try. The only one I can't get out of my head at the moment is the beautiful 14-man line out that turns into a dive over for Fletcher Anderson. But more on him in a second. But yeah, I thought, generally speaking, the distance actually on the attacking line was really nice. It was like perfectly measured. I felt they had just enough time to make decisions, creating space out wide. Like, Sammy was good the whole night. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough thing for him because like I feel like he's kind of the subheading because the big heading is obviously the notorious CLJ, got his start, or not his start. He came off the bench, but I actually felt a little bit bad for him because I feel like it would have been quite good to watch him with Eddie James for a bit. You know, I felt like it would have been nice to see him get a run out with a few more of the first team in the back line. So he was not that what he did was bad by any means. I thought he actually performed really, really well, especially in the try for
Tommy.
God, it was Tommy's try, was it? His second? Yeah.
Yeah, the 5th Tommy try of the weekend. Well, actually the second, wasn't it?
It was the second one, yeah. It would chronologically the second one.
Do you think that's what it was? Tommy Rog checked his phone on the Friday night. Was like, oh, is it? And
boys mentioned, the other Tommy's done you good, but you scored 2 tries. Oh, what are you going to do? That 14 shirt is going to disappear from you soon. And then he pulls that one out.
Yeah. But yeah, CLJ, first ever Scarlets appearance, did fine, I would say.
Nothing wrong. Yeah. Really nice touchline conversion. Nailed it.
Really nice.
I do want to say that I don't know who makes the call for that 3rd try, but if you watch it and when he starts making a run into a gap, like sort of like jogging along, just keeping his place as they're cutting back across, the ball goes out. If he's running at full pace, he's in line to catch that ball, and I reckon he's got a straight line for the try line. That could have been a beautiful debut try for him, but it worked out well for Tommy anyway. No, obviously not the only one to get his debut. Kai Jones. He's a young lock, and all I can say is go onto the Under 20 Six Nations YouTube page, try and find some of Wales 18's highlights from last summer. I want to say he was against Ireland. He is a beast of a player. I know he's against boys his own age, they're not fully grown men, but you face what you're up against, and he is a menace. He's looked good for Drovers in SRC, and he was signed up pretty young. I think he was around 14 when he got involved with the Scarlets Academy, which we don't normally hit that till they're about 16 years old, sometimes 15. So to be 14, it does generally say something about what is expected of you. And he done well by all accounts. Also, he made his tackles, did what was asked of him, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops because Christ knows we need some locks. And we could probably do with another one at this moment in time, with obviously Ball and Douglas missing this game. Young Carwin, obviously, yeah, that touchline conversion, that was just a spot ability. The boy can kick again. If you can find any video of his games, obviously Hugh has created a lovely one on a challenge from his game in the Welsh schools
You know
and
my favourite
colleges
bit from that
final.
highlights reel?
Yeah,
Is he kicked a touch?
it was awesome though. Like I
Yeah.
know I sent you even more highlights of that game because he was like, "Oh, I'm not watching the game. Just give me the timestamps and what you." I give him about 15 different things for one game. No, not even one game, for 50 minutes of rugby. I give him just a shit ton of different moments of excellence at Carwin, and what did you pick, like 8, if that? It was unbelievable how well he played in that game. So yeah,
That was exciting.
it was exciting. It was great to see, and I'm not gonna call to see him start anytime soon, but it'd be nice if maybe he got a couple minutes here and there towards the end of the season, maybe just to tease him out. But we'll see how it goes. It was interesting to see him selected over Ellis Price because Ellis is older. He's been in the development system, the senior development system, a bit longer, and I don't believe he's injured at all. So that was an interesting one for me. But there we go.
Another small quick thing. Fletcher Anderson.
Just small.
Like, yeah, not that small, but like he looks really scary. I'm trying not
He
to
looks like an
swear.
8. Oh, swear, fucking swear, go for it.
Oh, he looks fucking terrifying, man. I would not want to tackle him. I would not want to tackle that guy.
He's got that size, like.
He's got that size, and he's also got that really annoying little jink move, like like someone catches the ball, and then they fall over the line. Like I can tell he's got that in him. Like he is. I mean, I think Hugh, you mentioned one of the sad things is that we get these players, they come along, and then they look amazing for us, and they're the people who spend the least amount of time with the coaching staff.
Yeah, if you look at our best players last season, Blair Murray, Henry Thomas, Alec Hepburn, Max Douglas, sorry.
Alex Douglas? Who was that?
Max Douglas. Like all new signings, and they're not as good this year. Like you can even go back to Alex Craig. So if Fletcher Anderson comes and wins Player of the Season, fair play, I'll be happy because we'll have a good player that will have done well. But I would like for our player to the season to not be a new signing.
Well, maybe we just need to make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah.
Like if this is going to be his best season, we better start him in every bloody game.
Well, is it a sign to maybe sign 23 new players next year?
That'd be nice.
And lightning strike 23 times.
It's like when we played the Stormers. I had a South African mate message me saying, "You just need some bigger ball carriers." I was like, "Oh, there's an idea. Why didn't I think of that?"
But he is really, really good. And to be honest, I'm kind of thinking that once Taine is back from Wales duty, it makes the back row selection genuinely interesting, which is nice, And I think it gives us some bit more versatility when deciding who goes on the bench, who starts.
Never gotten rid of Carwin.
No, and well, he's injured at the minute, isn't he?
Yeah,
Young Carwin.
If he stayed here,
one minute on the field this season, he gets injured. Or was it 3 minutes? One of the two.
I can't remember, man.
Yeah, it's unreal. But no, I mean, what we go? We go Plumtree, McLeod, Anderson. That's a tasty enough back row. Obviously, I think Max Douglas is going to be stuck at lock for the season.
He will, yeah.
So obviously, he's not going to be involved, even though we were excellent with him at 6.
Yeah, Jared Taylor as well.
Jared Taylor, obviously young Ocean Williams, debut start of the season. He came back from injury on Friday night as well. So seeing as he was named in the 23 to take on Connacht, I'd assume that he's definitely in the mix now, even though he's only in his first year of senior rugby. But if he doesn't mind, can he come back and play for Quins this Thursday night? We'll get onto that in a minute.
I think we need to get onto it now, mate. We've been going an hour.
Oh, you just like short podcasts. That's all you do.
I do, and we've already blown that. So we're now into a long podcast. I'm trying to prevent it from being very, very long.
You can be thankful. Oh shit! I gotta change my page. Sorry, boys.
Incidental music.
I mean, it has
This
been.
is
How many
fun.
weeks have you been off?
We've been
4
off a
weeks?
while.
3, 2,
Three?
3.
So let me make
Gotta
that
catch up.
right.
There's a lot of Taine Plumtree defending to do.
I know.
Okay.
Got our work cut out.
Okay, so if you are a audio listener, I'm sorry, we're not going to cover a lot of rugby today. If you're watching on YouTube, you can have a look at the screen, you can have a look at the games. The only real games I'm going to talk about are the SRC and the women's and the Doer, because no games have really been played for a couple of weeks, and all the fixtures you see, barring those ones I just mentioned, are all in a fortnight's time. So feel free to have a gander. Last out in the SRC was the November the 8th, I want to say. Carmarthen Quins travelled to Aberafan. Loads of boys represented. Isaac Young, Rodri Lewis, Ellis Price, Thomas Williams, Yori Badam, fully back in action now. Happy days. Ben Williams, Gabriel McDonald, and Callum Woolley on the bench. They started off really well. 2 quick tries. They really dominated the first half more than anything.
I swear Drovers played the other day.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'll come on to.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not talking about Quins.
Okay.
Yeah, they dominated the game. They got second half, then they scored a third try, and it was just seeing out the game at that point. They got the fourth on the bonus, which was absolutely brilliant. They needed it, and it put them in second place in the SRC at the time. Now, Llandovery, as you just said, they played Pontypool this past week. We only had Gabe Hawley in the starting lineup, Tom Phillips, Jack Pritchard, Steph Jack Jones, and Griff Watkins. Obviously, who's second favourite player, shall we say, on the bench. And it turned into a bit of a rout, to be honest. 44-24, it finished. And it was quite disappointed for Pontypool because they'd expected more. They've had quite a poor season themselves, but Drovers really
Are the Drovers
kicking in
back?
the gears. They're almost back. We'll wait till the Christmas derbies because it's Drovers against Quins back to back, and then there's one more game and a longish break until the next league game. Sadly, got a fun cup in the middle. There we go. But no, Drovers they've never really disappeared. I mean, they still, I think they now up there. Winners taking them up to second, drop Quins into third. So, they're still there. They're not losing games. That's the main thing. That Cardiff game, I'll just wipe that out of my memory. And obviously the Ebbw Vale disaster, Corey, I still don't forgive you. I think it's been 3 games since then, so we might see him back soon. But yeah, who's that? Okay, this week then games. Carmarthen Quins are travelling to first place Ebbw Vale under the S4C cameras. S4C is the place to be. Click YouTube, wherever it is. You've got to watch it. It's going to be it's a huge clash. Ebbw Vale currently holding the SRC Challenger Shield, which is the equivalent of the Ranfurly
Yes.
Shield. Obviously, but they only defended at home during SRC regular fixtures. Should be belong to Newport. Well, it should have belonged to Newport at the end of last season after they won the final. But there we go. But yeah, this is absolutely here. Ebbw have only lost 1 game this season, and that was to Newport 12-5. If we note on games from last season at this ground, at Eugene Cross, Queen's Park, even then, they were really in the game for 70 minutes, and Ebbw just got those extra few tries at the end. This is a much improved Quins, and if we do get the likes of Carwyn Leggett-Jones, Ocean Williams, obviously Ben Williams, I believe, might be in the mix as well. Having those boys involved will make a huge difference, and it's a game to watch. You've got to see it. I'm hoping the team news comes out early on Wednesday. It's going to be epic. Friday nights, because Wales are playing on the Saturday, so all the SRC games are now on the Friday instead of the Saturday. Yay! Who doesn't love that? Llandovery hosting Aberafan, expecting a pretty similar result. I'd expect the 6 points for Llandovery in this one, if I'm being totally honest. Over to the women's game in the Premiership. This fixture this weekend, we were Carnarvon against Bury Port. In the Championship, the most recent fixtures, I'm really sorry, I couldn't tell you what weekend they were. I want to say last weekend or the weekend before. So Haverford went down 14-53 at home to St. Gennett. Lampeter lost 28-26 away to West Swansea Hawks. And Whitland picked up a win in Anisabel 29-12. They are fixtures for this weekend. Lampeter at home to Gwynedd. Haverford travel to Old Penarthians, and Whitland hosting Llantwit Vardra. Down into the West Wales League, Newcastle Emlyn ladies won 42-20 away to Croyce. Fixtures, we've got Newcastle Emlyn at home to Pembroke and Tumble at home to Morriston. Down into the young boys games now. And in the Dewar Shield West, the final round of group fixtures. So Llanelli win 27-23 away to Bridgend, and Ceredigion winning 34-7 at home to Mynydd Mawrth, meaning Llanelli finished first and Ceredigion second in the group. They both now have Shield semi-finals to prepare for this Friday. Bowl quarter-final knockouts. Pembroke travelled to Isloin and they lost 44-28. So that is it for Pembroke for this season. And lucky boys, better luck next year. So those Shield semi-finals, they are coming to you live Friday night at the Wern in Merthyr. We've got Llanelli against Rhondda and Ceredigion against Pontypridd. I mean, I know they've got Llanelli a first seeds in our group and Rhondda a second in theirs, but this seems more Rhondda and Ponty home game being in Merthyr, which is, just a short drive away for them. But this is, I think this is the furthest Ceredigion have ever been in the Dewar competitions. They've never won it, never been to a final or semi-final as far as we are aware. So this is absolutely massive for them. And quite frankly, if they can manage to beat Pontypridd, then they're odds on for the title. And it would be absolutely great to see both Llanelli and Ceredigion face each other for the Dewar Shield when that final is played. I don't know when yet. The date's probably secured, but I haven't been bothered. Look, that's me. So that is all we're going to do for the community this week. Obviously, feel free on YouTube to have a little look around. You'll see little lines where you've got cap normal fixtures and little cutouts. I'll explain more next week, but for now, that is everything. And that is a community game done. So,
Hooray.
What did Who put next on the agenda? Because Who loves his agenda. Everything has to have a structure. It's how it's going to be. Glasgow preview. So we are playing Glasgow at the park on Saturday night. Saturday night? Is that correct?
Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah.
Late game.
And we're going to get 5 points. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. We're going to absolutely trounce them.
What's that team going to look like?
I'll be honest, the moment Ellis Mee got called up, I started worrying because obviously we saw so much fullback against Quins. I was thinking, oh my God, this is the back three we're going to see against Glasgow next week.
Yeah. It did look like a Glasgow team, didn't it?
And then he gets called up, and I'm thinking, I want it to be
not
Jack
be holding
Davis.
tackle bags. By God, if he's just holding tackle bags.
No, I want the 15 shirt to go to Jack Davis and then have Max Page on the other wing. But I got a feeling it's just going to be Johan Nicholas slotting in at 15 instead.
It's 100% going to be Johan Nicholas.
Well, maybe someone can make sure Dwayne listens this week and go, you know what? Jack Davis, he's played 4 or 5 games for Drovers at fullback. He's looked absolutely awesome whenever he's there. He's done his job more than well when he's played for us on the wing. Let's give him that 15 shirt. Even if it was to stick Johan Nicholas on the wing, I would just much rather... I'd rather Tommy Lewis or Jack Davis or, I'd rather Eddie James at 15 at this point.
They can all play fullback. Speaking of Eddie James, who's in the centre then? So Eddie at 12.
The same.
Johnny Williams must be. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I did think he went pretty well against Quins, to be honest.
I mean,
best he's played all season.
Apart from throwing that pullback.
Yeah, I've looked at that and it's just the wrong pass choice. That needed to be a hard, fast pass, just looking where the defensive line was, and he just lofts it into Dombrand's hand. If you play that fast across the line, then, there's more of a chance your player's going to get it or is going to get knocked on in the little kerfuffle. So, yeah, but that's what these games are. These games are to just get rid of that rust. So if you're going to throw an intercept, I'd rather in this game than, at Glasgow on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. It was a very loose game. like at that point of the game
Yeah.
against Quins. So I wouldn't hold that. I wouldn't hold that against him too much. I just wanted to point out that I thought compared to the first block of games, he seemed pretty stable.
Yeah.
So I would imagine he's in a 13, James in a 12.
Same halfbacks.
Yeah.
No reason to change.
Josh, Fletcher.
Jared.
Maybe it's 6. Jared?
Yeah. Jared, Josh, Fletcher. Yeah.
Anyone taller than 6'5" in the row?
Did I not read online that they're fit, right? Douglas and Bull.
I think the wording was they're hoping to be available.
Okay.
So I think that's a subtle way of saying they are fit, they will be playing, but I want to make the opposition think they might not be playing. So personally, I'd go for Lousy and Douglas to start. That'd be my preference with Ball on the bench. I don't know if either of you agree, disagree.
No, I think bringing Ball off. Sorry.
No, I was just saying yes.
Ditto here.
Yeah. So who goes with yes, John? I'll explain my thinking. No, I like that. I like that, John. Let's make the podcast longer. We've already passed the hour, Marcus, who said, why not go for 2? That's
boys.
all I'm saying.
Genuinely, I am so starved of rugby conversation living here. So you are getting it both barrels. I'm very sorry.
Awesome. So front row. I mean, were we happy with Henry Thomas?
He got subbed super early, didn't he? Oh no,
that
he
was
came
the
on.
point.
No,
Yeah,
Archer Holtz. No, he replaced Archer Holtz, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I tell you, who was shoving the Quins pack backwards like nobody's business. It was Harry O'Connor.
Yes, he was. I haven't actually watched them. I've seen the commentary. I need to have a look to see who the opposition front row was at the time. Because I've heard people say, "Oh, they were academy boys," which I don't really think so.
It was Oxen Shea and Tyrell Lomax is who was scrummaging for Quins, and Harry O'Connor said, "Yes, I'm serious."
Jesus, and he smashed them back. Hawk is back, baby! Come on! Oh, that is amazing news. I have been worried about him since that bloody injury against Leicester. Oh, that is awesome news. Now we're spoiled for choice at tight head. Who do we go for? Holtz has been magnificent holding the fort down. Henry Thomas, when he's on form, he is our best tight head. And now Hawk is beginning to show the form that had him starting 3 for Wales. So, yeah, I'm excited about that now. You can see even my laptop was shaking a little bit. Like, yeah, let's go for it. I'm really excited about that. That prospect really makes me happy.
And what about a hooker? So what's the story with Marnus? Because he pulled out at the last second. There's been no comms about it.
You've seen apparently he's going to Munster.
Yeah, I saw that today. Well, it's rumored he's going to Munster. It was so what I read was that the first rumor came from the Sharks because they were looking at him. So
he's
was
been
Gloucester.
Linked to everywhere. He's been linked to about 6 clubs.
Yeah, and today it was reported in the mainstream Irish press that they were looking at him. But that said, they did put up a picture of Harry Thomas instead of him in the article. So
yeah, but
a big pinch of salt.
He was facing the opposition. So and obviously he was named to play number 2 against Harlequins. How could they know that it was that they'd been a late change?
He's only a capped Springbok, Can't possibly expect to know who he is.
No. What you're saying is if you fancy some money, get down to Limerick now and say that you're Marnus van der Merwe and sign a contract straight away.
Do you know what, Mark? Since you've grown your beard out a bit, you don't look completely unlike him.
Well, I'm wearing a Quinn shirt, so
yeah.
I'll be honest.
I thought you were South African. You could say, "Yeah, I've just been living down in West Wales for a long time."
Yeah, that's what you do. I mean, I have played hooker. It's not my preference. I would much rather play tight head, given the option. But
just tell them you want to switch.
Yeah.
No. You're versatile across the front row.
No.
I'd be like LinkedIn speak.
I'd be like, yes, no. Marnus van der Merwe. That's my stage name. That's the name for rugby. This is my actual legal name. This is the contract I want to be signed in. That's the angle I'll have to play.
The hooker formerly known as Warthog.
Schleswig Warthog. You got to put the Schleswig on there. Otherwise, people might claim he's from somewhere else.
Sorry,
because he's obviously not.
No, he's obviously born and bred.
So obviously hoping that it is Marnus and Elias. for us this Saturday. But if it's Harry Thomas on the bench or even Harry Thomas starting, I'm not adverse to that, seeing as how he's going. And he is in that third hooker spot. And quite frankly, we need to give him game time to see how he develops. I'm quite annoyed at the Kirby Myhill situation. I would have hoped Harry would have had a few more minutes by now. Hasn't worked out that way, but there we are. Loose head. I think it's safe to say Kemsley Mathias keeps on trucking that number 1 jersey at the minute. Alec Hepburn, was he with Scotland or?
No, I don't think so.
So, yeah, assuming he's fit.
Where is he?
Assuming he's fit, yeah. Well, it might have been a case of he it's best not to play him because we do have Sam O'Connor that needs minutes, and we do have Josh Morse who was right behind him, and by all accounts, he could be a great loose head. Like, you know, that ceiling is very high for that boy, and his scrummaging is first and foremost. So he destroys people in SRC, and he's a 20-year-old kid. So I mean, I might have to double check his age, but he's still really young in prop terms, and he is causing damage, and I mean damage.
Mark WhatsApped me the other night. He said, if you want to see some scrummaging, SRC, this game, minutes 55 to 62, watch. And I was like, I'm not going to do that, Mark. But thank you anyway.
Which game was it?
Cardiff Newport from this past Friday.
That was my first. I've been converted by Mark now. So that was my first SRC game. And boy, yeah, Newport are good. Yeah, Newport are really good.
How did that game finish 19-12? They left like 6 or 7 tries out there.
Newport good, yeah. So they lost 5 on the spin.
Yeah, and then they played Ebbw Vale and were like, shit, this is a Gwent derby. We got to turn up now. And
they were very good last season. I watched them a couple of times last season. I was like, fair play. Like, obviously, it's East Wales and stuff. I was like, no, but they are good.
They are, like, them against Ebbw Vale in the final, you know, and the semi-final against Cardiff. You know, none of us backed Newport to get that win against Cardiff, you know, on the SRC pod. And bloody hell, they were absolutely amazing. You know, we have said for a good couple of seasons, mind, that on paper and, you know, playing game, Newport and Llandudno are the 2 best teams all rounders. You know, they've got amazing forwards and amazing backs. They can go toe to toe with anyone. Where you've got teams like Ebbw Vale who have got the best pack in the world. Like, honest to God, I'd like to see them go up against a stronger team, like a actual proper professional team, to see how good that pack is, because it is brilliant what they do when they do it against everyone. And then you've got teams like Cardiff who are absolutely brilliant in the backs, but not quite up there with the forward. Still, obviously, very good, but not quite there. But where you've got Llandudno and Newport who are always first and second teams, you know, you can't target one area to go after. You've got to go for the whole lot. So yeah, I love.
Tune into the SRC podcast for more of this.
So you're saying that if there's a Cardiff style Challenge Cup crisis where they have to sign everyone from Ebbw Vale and
to
Newport
be fair,
for the squads.
To be fair, they've apparently got a crisis at hooker right now, and I'm just gonna say Joe Franchi or what was his name, Ian Morris. Either of those boys, if they're available, give them a crack, because honestly, they won't disappoint.
Play just Leinster on the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, just like Lewis Morgan didn't disappoint when he went down to South Africa, or Jamie Hughes as well from Llandudno, who went down for the Dragons, and more than like Lewis Morgan got a try, few minutes. You know, I'm just going to power over. That's what he does. That's what these West Walians boys do. Honestly, people say there's not enough players in Wales. There's not enough professional players in Wales. You know, if you could contract another 60 boys out of this SRC, give them that full-time exposure. Obviously, if they were doing it under a younger age, it would have been better. But I swear to God, there's plenty.
There's too much chat about players and not enough chat about coaches in Wales.
Yeah, it sounds like you're advocating for expansion to a 5th region.
I will advocate for expansion for a 5th region if it allows, and I think SRC 12 teams, does it work? Does it not work? I mean, I don't like the fact that Neath and Ponty aren't included in it. Do we need RGC as an SRC team? Could we potentially put them as a 5th region? I don't really think so. There's a lot of chat in for there, which if you want to do it off air or on the SRC pods is more relevant to them. I'm happy to do it. Absolutely love to do it. I will chew your ear off for hours. But yeah. Back to the Scarlets against Glasgow this Saturday. If you didn't
Glasgow
know,
are good.
Glasgow are good, but
preview.
they're not going to have a host of their Scotland internationals.
Scotland are finished now.
Yeah, they're
I'll
done.
have a few.
Yeah, but they still won't have all of them because they'll be
Alex
resting for
Craig.
the Champions Cup.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is the weekend I'm on about. Like this weekend, obviously the Six Nations follow week, and the week after the Six Nations. Those are the 3 weekends where internationals, not all of them play. So
They're
it's
a very,
always
very good team, though, Mark.
Oh yeah, even their second team is pretty good. But we should have beat them last season. Was it last season?
We should have, yeah.
That was great. That was a fantastic game.
That was in this game as well, I think. First one after November.
Yeah. So I'm not like I said last year after the balls. I'm not scared.
When was the last time the Scarlets actually won a game?
Don't ask depressing questions.
That is depressing.
It was end of season run.
No, we beat Llandovery on the 6th of September.
We beat in a 40-minute friendly. We beat Llandovery. Yes.
But we lost to Quinn straight after.
I was going to point that out. That was So the first loss of the losing streak was to Quins. You're saying?
Carmarthen Quinn started this all off, and everything comes back to Carmarthen Quins. This is the thing. Without Llanelli, RFC, it just goes through Carmarthen now. Which,
yeah.
But no, in my calculations, which are, let's say, biased to say the least, I'll back us for a win. I won't back us for the bonus point because I think 4 tries against any Glasgow is a job. Who knows? Tommy Lewis may go for 4 tries just to stick it to the other Tommy. It might be a new battle. You know, Tommy Lewis will score 4 against Glasgow. Tommy Rogers will score 5 against Bristol, and so forth. And then Hewett Bordeaux, you'll be like, how does one player score 6 tries in the game? This is so wrong. But yes, Scarlets are winning.
Damien Benno scored 6 tries for Bordeaux against Exeter last year.
You know, this is a Scarlets pod. This isn't the rest of the world. You don't have to bring that shit.
All right. You just spent half an hour talking about Newport versus Cardiff.
We did. Yeah. It is. Are we doing predictions?
Scarlets by 2.
No. I'm banning Scarlets by 2. Anything but Scarlets by 2.
Control me.
Yes, I can. Can I mute you? I'm going to see if I can mute you. If I can mute you, this is going to be awesome. I can start fucking around with you then. More. Stop. Make host. I don't think I can.
Music.
In the interim, like the mall was shaky against Quins.
I did a funny audio listeners. I just changed Mr. Who's name to Dickhead, and he's having a nice little laugh. Oh, I can do
John
this.
Was making a very
yay.
No. This is more important.
Go on, start your video again. I want to see what else I can do.
No, right, John, make your educated rugby. It's changed.
The mall was pretty shaky against Quins. If we've got Douglas back, that gives me a little bit more hope. But obviously, we know the Glasgow are their line-out's fantastic, but set piece in general and moves off set piece are like bread and butter to them. I have if Eddie James is starting, then I feel a little bit better about him defending in the 12 channel off the set moves. So I'm just talking myself into saying one or the other. Go on, Scarlets by 5.
Right.
There we go. That's a proper answer. I like it. You can't go Scarlets by 5 next week now. So just so you're aware.
Oh, I didn't know it was like a bingo situation.
No, if it becomes a trend, then then we start to have issues like Dickhead over there. I'm going to be nice.
We're on a shared Zoom account, so the next person who logs in.
That's going to be funny. That's really going to be funny. Who does it on a Tuesday? Who knows? We record this on a Monday night, in case you were wondering.
Anyway, we've reached the end of the show.
No, we are Scarlets by 8. There we go. Now we've reached the end of the show. Get it right. Obviously, boys, this has been fun. It's been, hour and a half? This has gone on a little bit too long. But this is what happens when we have 3. We go over an hour with just, 2 of us. So with 3, this is going to be an absolute blast. But yeah, thank you, boys, for joining. Mr. John White, who still haven't got a nickname for you. There he is. Thank you for coming out the first time. I think I'm happy to have you back. Hugh, you happy to have him back?
Who's Hugh? Only dickhead over here.
Dickhead, you interested in him having him back?
Oh, definitely. He knows many rugby words.
He does as well, and he actually talks some sense, which is, not heard of in Welsh rugby.
Yeah. That's why he had to move to Germany.
Well, I thought you were keeping that a secret.
I had to move to a sensible place.
So there we are. Obviously, before we go, if you've made it this far, bloody well done to you. Congrats. Like, share, subscribe, hype. Hype, yeah? Is that still a thing?
Yes, I think so.
You think? No one knows. Hype on YouTube if you're watching it. If you can watch us on YouTube, literally just, end of the day, leave your laptop up on charge, just put the video on and let it play through with ads. It does great things for us. It'd be really appreciated.
Great things for us, terrible things for the environment, but it'll work through.
We're just a tiny group of people. We're not affecting the environment that much. We've only got 6,000 listeners. It's not that many. I'm joking. I'd love 6,000. That'd be awesome. Well, thank you boys for joining me. We'll do it all again next week. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Good night.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Robert Mays from The Athletic. This time of year always gets busy, but that's when having Peloton in my life really makes a difference. The new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ, helps me fit in great workouts no matter what's on my schedule. It's Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move. Peloton IQ plans your workouts, tracks your progress, and corrects your form so you can train smarter and make the most of your time. Let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.